Hello everyone. Sorry I can't be with you for the sustainability breakfast this month. I'm going to be on holiday, but I wanted to leave this video to share a little bit about the fair trade certification and what it means when you're buying products which have this label on, as you can see in the first slide. I'm going to talk a little bit about the category challenges and some of the brands and retailers in Hong Kong who are selling fair trade products. For those of you who don't know, I actually spent 5 years at the Fair Trade Foundation in London, so I know a little bit about the technicalities of it and the motivations and the positive impact that it brings for businesses. So there's a couple of commodity challenges that I wanted to focus in on. One is within coffee and one is within cocoa. For the case of coffee, it's worth bearing in mind that the production levels really vary, and this is impacted by a number of different things. So it could be the weather, it could be diseases such as La Roya, which is a coffee leaf rust, but ultimately climate change is really exacerbating this, and it means that coffee farmers are producing varying amounts of the coffee bean each year, and you can see over a long period of time the market's very volatile and they're going up and down based on such a wide variety of factors, but obviously the yield is really affecting this. Also, coffee as a commodity has very complex supply chains. So from the coffee farm, you're sending your crop to a producer, from a producer group to a co-op, and then to an exporter, then to an importer and a supplier and a roaster. So because of the complexities of the supply chain, it means that the value that coffee farmers get from their crop is really squeezed out, and it's quite minimal. Also, it's worth noting that in many countries, coffee farms are owned by men, and there's a real disproportionate impact here, and it's men are holding the income from the coffee farms, and they have complete control of that. So there are a number of organizations and programs in place that are looking to help transfer that value and make it more equal, but not enough is being done at the moment, and it's a real sort of gender empowerment challenge. And then another one linking to some of the social side is that there's a lack of young people who want to be involved in coffee farming, and they've seen from future generations that this is not a particularly lucrative career at the moment. So they're choosing to set up their careers in the city, and there's a big sort of migration trend. So it's becoming more and more challenging to get young people into coffee farming. So within the cocoa sector, there's a number of challenges that exist. To start with, wages is a big challenge, particularly in West Africa. Some companies are trying to support their producer groups reach a living wage, which is an incredibly ambitious achievement for cocoa farmers at the moment. Reaching cost of sustainable production is something which is sort of on the radar, but reaching living wages is something which is really exciting and ambitious, and we urge companies to make those commitments. Also, deforestation is a big environmental impact for cocoa farming in order to clear land for cocoa bushes, but it is having a negative impact on the environment, and there are more reforestation programs and projects in place to support cocoa farmers manage this better. Child labour, again, is a big challenge in the cocoa sector. And it's a really systemic challenge, and there's no quick fix out of it. And you can never really say, oh, there's no child labour in my supply chain, because that would be a very unrealistic assumption. However, companies are putting more and better remediation strategies in place to help manage their risk and deal with any sort of instances of child labour. Also, the market, the cocoa market, is very interesting on the supply chain. It's a bit like a bell curve, where you have a very small number of traders in the middle, very large number of cocoa producers and consumers at the top. But those traders in the middle really control the market, and they have a lot of power. And then finally, farmers linked back to the wages only really receive about 6% of the value of the final chocolate bar. So it's worth bearing in mind that there are so many other actors who are taking a share of the production and the manufacturing and the supply. But farmers often put in the hardest work and see the least reward. So this is where fair trade certification comes and plays an important part in helping address these challenges. And I guess we can think about how it's supporting them in three key areas. At a producer level, fair trade farmers get a minimum price and a fair trade premium when they sell their crop on fair trade terms. The minimum price is important because they're guaranteed to get that cost when they sell their crop. If the market price ever were to fall, then the minimum price kicks in, and that will cover the cost of sustainable production. Then on top of the minimum price, they get a fair trade premium. And this is an additional sum of money which the producer group can invest in their business or in their community to help improve and drive more practices. And it could be anything from healthcare or education programs through to improving the quality of their crop. Beyond the minimum price and premium, it's really important to understand that fair trade certification has a really extensive range of standards that need to be met. So these are social, environmental, and economic standards. And it could be things like having a gender policy, or it could be looking at their waste management. But a common misconception is that fair trade certification only covers the price, but actually, fair trade is a really holistic, wide-ranging set of standards that have to be met, and it's a very sustainable certification. In addition to the producer level benefits, there's also many supplier level benefits. So these include having traceable and transparent supply chains. So fair trade is audited across the whole supply chain. And there are also standards that suppliers need to meet, as well as producer groups, to ensure that there are fair terms of trade. And fair trade also helps enable suppliers and their producers to have long-term, really strong trading relationships. At a consumer level, it's really beneficial for consumers because fair trade certification has a really high recognition rate, and it provides a really strong assurance to consumers that the product has met ethical standards. So across the whole supply chain, there are benefits that can be seen. Here are a range of licensees and brands in Hong Kong who are selling fair trade certified products. I should note that there are other certifications in place, and you'll see lots of other certifications like Rainforest Alliance and Fair Wild, for example. But these ones on the screen are selling fair trade certified products. So for the case of M&S and USelect, there's a great range of fair trade products in retail. And then the other brands on the page are all listed as licensees of Fair Trade Hong Kong. So they have a really wide range of products, whether they're a brand or a retailer. So it's worth taking a look. And if you're looking to make any changes in your supply, then please do consider these businesses who can offer a fair trade solution.